Hello, folks. On this episode of Slasher Library, we're going to be talking about 1981's The Prowler. The Prowler is directed by Joseph Zito, who's famous for doing Friday the 13th Part 4. He then went on to do a number of Chuck Norris action films like Invasion USA. But he only did 2 horror films, and The Prowler was the first one. There are some things right off the bat to attract folks to this film. Probably the foremost reason, other than Joseph Zito, is that this is a Tom Savini effort. He did the special effects, and this movie definitely contains some of the more memorable kill scenes that Savini has done. I was watching it, particularly the second kill, and the third kill too, but that second kill is just outstanding. Really just blew me away. But anyway, let me go back to the beginning here. The film opens up, and is very different from most slashers in the respect that it opens up with kind of this newsreel footage from the 40s, talking about soldiers coming home from the war. We then cut to a period sequence set in 1945 with period cars, and everybody's dressed in vintage outfits. They do a really good job actually on such a small budget of recreating the time period, and it looks really fantastic. And that alone just really took me off guard, and definitely helped set this slasher film apart from some of the others. It then fast forwards to the present, 1980, and they're going to have a graduation dance, and it's kind of silly because the sheriff is leaving town for a fishing trip and leaves his deputy in charge. And apparently there's only 2 police in this entire town, which is kind of ridiculous. But other than that, there's some really good red herrings. The film is really well shot. I like the directing. There's a great sequence where the girls are getting ready for the dance, and the whole thing is intercut with the Prowler getting dressed and ready to go out and kill some folks. So that's pretty cool. The film does slow down a little bit at the beginning of the second act. There's a lot of just kind of walking around buildings in the dark, and it gets a little boring at times. But for the most part, it picks back up pretty quickly. And like I said, you're just kind of anxiously awaiting each kill just because of the quality of them. I didn't see the killer's identity coming at all. I had not guessed it. So that was pretty good. Characters are not bad. The main character, played by Vicki Dawson, she is very, very cute, attractive girl. She's a very good actress, I feel. She's got a real Amy Steele quality about her, kind of looks like her even. Unfortunately, this was like one of her only 2 movies that she ever did. So, I think she did some soap operas, and that was it. So, she really never had much of a career. The male lead is he's okay. He's kind of an unlikable douche, but, what are you going to do? I think the thing I really want to talk about, though, is how similar this film is to other slasher films. This came out in November of '81, so I assume it was shot, I could be mistaken, but I assume it was shot during the summer of '81. the plot is nearly identical to My Bloody Valentine, which came out earlier that year in February. Guy kills some teens at a dance. They don't have the dance for a lot of years. They finally have the dance again, and the killer shows up and starts killing people. Exactly the same plot for both. So that's kind of unfortunate that it's so similar. But it's a basic enough plot that it can be easily expanded upon, I guess. The other thing that this film also rips off is it tries to do the jump scare end thing from Friday the 13th, the original. Where they're like, oh, everything's okay, and you know, and so, and it ends with that, and it's kind of weak, and weird, and doesn't make a lot of sense. But, unoriginality aside, slow parts aside, the film is extremely well made. It's pretty well acted. And like I said, this is some of Tom Savini's best work. So if you haven't seen The Prowler, definitely give it a rent. It's a must for slasher aficionados and completists if you don't already have it. I don't know why I put off seeing it or getting it this long. It's available from Blue Underground on DVD. I imagine they'll do a Blu-ray release eventually, since I'm guessing they're going to release everything they've put out in Blu-ray at some point. That was this installment of Slasher Library. Let me know what you think of this segment. See if you want. Do you want to see more? I know this was a little haphazard. I don't know. I'm not quite on my game today. I don't know. But if you want to see me talk about some more cool slasher films, which I'd really like to do, let me know. If you don't care, I'm probably going to do it anyway. But see ya.